Welcome to the Mystery and History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. Some stories begin with a strange photo, an impossible record, or an appearance that catches attention at first sight. But when we look more carefully, we realize that behind every face there is a real life, marked by challenges, choices, judgment, and moments of courage. In this video, you will meet people who became famous for rare traits, unusual medical conditions, extreme transformations, and records that sparked the world's curiosity. Many of them were observed, judged, or turned into a spectacle, but they also found ways to move forward, gain recognition, and leave their mark. And by the end, you will realize that these stories are not only about the human body, but about identity, resilience, prejudice, fame, and the strength of people who lived far beyond the image they became known for. Mandy Sellers from England became known for a rare medical condition in which her leg continued to show growth even after surgical removal of part of the limb, a phenomenon linked to an unusual genetic mutation. Her case was studied by researchers to better understand growth disorders and develop more effective treatments. The continuation of this unusual development brought physical and social challenges, highlighting the complexity of genetic conditions and the importance of scientific research in improving quality of life. Lizzie Velasquez from Texas became a symbol in the fight against bullying after an offensive video about her appearance went viral, exposing her to hostile comments because of a rare syndrome that prevents normal body fat accumulation. With very low body weight and limited vision, she turned prejudice into motivation, becoming a speaker, author, and the subject of a documentary. Her work influenced debates in the United States Congress about protective legislation, respect for differences, and social awareness. Gary Turner from England became known worldwide in 1999 when Guinness World Records recognized him as the man with the stretchiest skin in the world because of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a rare genetic condition that affects collagen, leaving the skin extremely loose and stretchable without apparent pain or injury. This syndrome also affects joints, organs, and blood vessels, causing structural weakness in connective tissue and challenging medical understanding of body integrity. Yu Zhenhuan, known as the Wolf Man of China because of his hypertrichosis, a rare condition that causes excessive hair growth, became an emblematic figure in the 20th century. Despite his unusual appearance, he changed his destiny by becoming a singer, breaking social barriers and prejudice in a traditional China. His path shows how artistic talent can overcome physical and social challenges, influencing public perception of people with exceptional medical conditions. Paul Carrison became known for his rare condition called argyria, which left his skin with a bluish-gray tone after long-term self-directed use of a silver-containing compound to treat skin problems. His situation gained media attention in the early 2000s and highlighted the risks of alternative products used without professional guidance. The story sparked debates about chemical substances, unsupervised treatments, and the importance of seeking proper medical advice before using products for therapeutic purposes. Supatra Sasaphan, born in Bangkok in 1999, has Ambrose syndrome, a rare genetic condition that causes excessive hair growth on the body, with about 50 confirmed cases worldwide. In 2010, she was recognized by Guinness as the hairiest girl in the world, gaining major attention in international media and sparking curiosity across the globe. Despite social challenges, she maintained a normal school life, made sincere friendships, and said she never saw herself as different, facing prejudice with great courage and determination. Tom Staniford, a British man diagnosed with rare MDP syndrome, is one of only 8 cases in the world of this genetic condition, which prevents body fat accumulation from birth and causes bone fragility and hearing loss. Despite clear physical limitations, he became a professional cyclist and won medals in national championships in the United Kingdom. His case is important for research on the PTRF gene, with potential advances in understanding type 2 diabetes. Andrea Ivanova, a student from Sofia, Bulgaria, became known worldwide after undergoing more than 27 hyaluronic acid injections in her lips, seeking volume with no clear limit, which affected her natural facial expression. Although doctors refused to continue the procedures for safety reasons, she found other clinicians willing to apply them. Her extreme pursuit of modification sparked global debate about the ethical limits of beauty procedures and professional responsibility, reflecting dilemmas in the popularization of cosmetic treatments. Sultan Kosin from Turkey became known in 2009 when Guinness recognized him as the tallest man in the world, standing 8 feet 2.8 inches tall because of a pituitary tumor that caused excessive growth hormone production. In 2010, he underwent radiation therapy that removed the tumor and stopped his uncontrolled growth, preventing him from continuing to grow. His case shows medical advances in the treatment of rare disorders and the challenges faced by people with extreme height. Kim Goodman from Chicago gained attention by setting the world record for voluntarily increasing the visible projection of her eyes by 0.47 inches, almost twice the common measurement. She noticed this ability after an incident involving a hockey mask, which reportedly increased her eye mobility. Specialists suggest that the trait may come from low orbital pressure combined with an atypical orbicular muscle, although the exact cause remains unknown. Guinness World Records officially recognized this peculiarity. Chandra Bahadur Dangi, born in 1939 in an isolated village in Nepal, was recognized in 2012 as the shortest human ever recorded, standing only 21.5 inches tall because of a rare growth condition that was never precisely diagnosed. He lived 72 years in complete anonymity until researchers discovered him, which led him to travel internationally for the first time and enter Guinness World Records. His story revealed medical and social challenges faced by people with extreme conditions and remained known worldwide until 2015. Romario dos Santos Alves from Sergipe became a global warning symbol after applying a muscle-filling substance to his biceps during his teenage years to imitate comic book characters, resulting in arms with unusual proportions and serious tissue complications. Specialists identified the possibility of loss of function, leading to several procedures to remove the synthetic oil. His story exposes the dangers of irresponsible use of these substances and expanded debates in Brazil about health, appearance, and safety. He Pingping was the shortest adult man in modern history, measuring 29.4 inches and weighing about 22 pounds because of a rare form of primordial dwarfism. Born on July 13, 1988 in Inner Mongolia, China, he gained international recognition by representing Guinness at events and television programs, bringing visibility to rare conditions like his. He died in March 2010 in Rome from heart complications at age 21, highlighting the medical and social challenges faced by people with extreme dwarfism. Lucky Diamond Rich, born in New Zealand and living in Australia, holds the Guinness World Record for having nearly his entire body tattooed, including uncommon areas such as gums, tongue, and the spaces between his toes. His technique involves repeated layers of black, white, and colored ink, creating a unique full body covering. Besides working as a tattoo artist, he performs as a street artist, juggler, and member of traditional circus acts, establishing himself as a singular figure in contemporary body art. Myra Hills, a German model known as Basheen, gained notoriety for having exceptionally large breast implants, weighing about 6.6 pounds on each side and creating body measurements far beyond commercial standards. This transformation, started in the 2000s, sparked broad debate about the limits of body modification and its physical effects, including the need to adapt daily habits to handle the added weight. Her exposure on social media revealed the modern search for identity and notoriety, through radical changes in appearance. Jocelyn Wildenstein, a Swiss socialite, became famous for extreme plastic surgeries that reshaped her face, creating striking feline features such as exaggerated cheeks and slanted eyes. After divorcing billionaire Alec Wildenstein, she invested about $4 million in cosmetic procedures over several decades, transforming her appearance and attracting global media attention. This search for a singular identity reflected social tensions tied to wealth and beauty culture in the 21st century. Henry Damon, a Venezuelan man, became known for a radical body transformation inspired by the Marvel villain Red Skull, including changes to the shape of his nose, subdermal implants in his forehead, red and black facial tattoos, and dental alterations. The process took place over several years and involved professionals willing to perform unconventional interventions, raising ethical debates about the limits of body modification. His transformation represents a personal identity deeply tied to pop culture, going beyond a temporary cosmetic change. Michel Lotito from Grenoble, France, became known for eating small processed portions of a dismantled Cessna 150 airplane between 1978 and 1980, a feat that drew worldwide attention because of its uniqueness. Lotito had a rare eating condition and a stomach structure considered unusual, and he also performed demonstrations involving materials from bicycles and televisions. Recognized by the Guinness Book as Monsieur Mange-Tout, he became one of the most curious figures in world records and remained known until 2007. Lee Redmond, a resident of Utah, became known for growing her fingernails for almost 30 years, starting in 1979 and giving them careful attention with special oils. In 2008, she entered Guinness World Records with a total length of more than 26 feet, including one nail that measured almost 35 inches, the longest ever recorded on a living person. However, in 2009, a car accident caused her to lose the nails she had grown, abruptly ending 3 decades of dedication and care. Jonah Falcon became known in 1999 after a Rolling Stone report discussed an intimate anatomical trait of unusual size, leading him to face notoriety and social challenges. In 2012, that particularity caused a brief security check at the San Francisco airport, an episode that drew international attention. Despite the body-related fame, Falcon says the stigma harmed his relationships and often caused his personality and projects to be ignored, while he seeks professional recognition as a writer and actor. Francisco Joaquim, known as the mouth that could swallow a can, became known for an unusual feat, fitting an entire soda can inside his mouth, a world record recognized by Guinness World Records. This unique ability, documented in the mid-20th century, stood out in Angola and drew attention to the cultural and human peculiarities of the region, symbolizing the diversity of human expression that goes beyond traditional physical limits and attracting international interest to the country. Nick Stobrel gained attention when Guinness World Records recognized him for having the world's longest tongue, measuring about 4 inches, a feat that drew international attention and placed him at the center of television programs and public events. His artistic and comedic ability, shown through his impressive tongue displays, helped popularize human curiosities and unusual records, reflecting the global fascination with exceptional physical traits and their impact on modern entertainment culture. Rolf Buchholz became known worldwide for his more than 480 body modifications, including numerous piercings, subdermal implants, and dental alterations that challenged conventional standards of appearance and body identity. His unusual appearance led to his being denied entry into a foreign country, reflecting social tensions over acceptance of body diversity in public spaces. The case highlights the conflict between individual rights and social norms, generating debates about freedom of expression and discrimination based on appearance. Eric Sprague, known as the Lizardman, stands out for combining extreme body modification with academic reflection, holding a doctorate in philosophy. His radical transformation, with green tattoos covering his entire body, a split tongue, implants, and dental changes, goes beyond appearance and forms, part of an artistic performance that questions the limits of the human body and identity. This combination of art, culture, and philosophical thought highlights modern debates about the body as a means of expression and cultural resistance. Tom Leopard, a former British soldier, gained attention after transforming his body into a leopard pattern with tattoos covering almost all of his skin, earning the Guinness record as the most tattooed man in the world. At first isolated in a cabin on the Isle of Skye in Scotland, Leopard lived in seclusion and in harmony with nature, using a kayak to get around. In old age, he moved to a more accessible home, keeping his story as an extreme example of body identity. Kala Kaiwi, a contemporary Hawaiian tattoo artist, brings together Polynesian tradition and modern body art by turning his body into a living work with subdermal implants, a split tongue, large ear gauges, and tattoos of ancestral symbols. His practice goes beyond appearance, reflecting cultural connection and resistance to sensationalized media views, using social media to educate people and value body modification as identity and artistic expression in present-day Hawaii. Abigail and Brittany Hensel, born in 1990 in Minnesota, are conjoined twins with shared bodies and independent minds, each controlling one side of the body and separate organs. Their lives required extreme coordination for daily tasks, a challenge they overcame by graduating in 2012 and obtaining a joint license to work as teachers. This case highlights advances in medical understanding and civil rights, showing the complexity of identity and autonomy in extraordinary situations. Jyoti Amge, recognized by Guinness World Records as the shortest living woman in the world, measures 24.7 inches and was born in Nagpur, India in 1993. She has achondroplasia, a form of dwarfism, and overcame physical and social barriers by gaining international attention as an actress in the American series American Horror Story in 2014. Her global recognition not only highlights challenges faced by people with disabilities, but also promotes inclusion and visibility for minorities in contemporary entertainment. Mehmet Özürek, a Turkish man recognized by Guinness World Records in 2010 for having the longest nose ever recorded on a living person, measured 3.5 inches from base to tip. Unlike medical cases involving deformities, his nose was healthy and functional, standing out only because of its unusual anatomical size. This uniqueness brought him fame and invitations to national and international programs, where he discussed his condition with humor and ease, challenging conventional beauty standards. Tanya Herbert from Colorado gained attention for having the longest female feet ever recorded, measuring 13 inches, about a United States women's size 18. Standing more than 6 feet 6 inches tall, her physical condition placed her outside commercial standards, forcing her to wear custom shoes made by specialists. In the 20th century, she turned teenage shame into inspiration, promoting acceptance of body differences in a time that was less open to physical diversity. Byron Schlenker, a resident of New York, became known after discovering that he had the world's widest tongue, measuring an impressive 3.4 inches. He realized this while checking Guinness World Records during a reading with his daughter. This genetic trait, which he also inherited, is not pathological, but it drew major attention on social media, quickly making them go viral. Byron's uniqueness brought invitations to television programs and global events, showing the cultural interest in one-of-a-kind human curiosities. Sarwan Singh, a devoted Sikh in Canada, holds the world record for the longest beard, measuring more than 6 feet 6 inches officially in 2011 by Guinness World Records. For Sikhs, keeping hair and beard uncut is a sacred principle from birth, symbolizing respect for religious traditions and cultural identity. Singh spends hours each week carefully caring for his beard, using special techniques to preserve its length and make daily movement easier, showing the connection between faith and personal practice. Tran Van Hey became known for keeping his hair uncut for about 50 years, a habit that reflected personal beliefs and cultural traditions from Vietnam. His decision, started in the 1960s, symbolized spiritual commitment and resistance to outside changes, while he lived in a simple rural environment that preserved old customs. The impressive length of his hair, usually wrapped like a turban, drew international attention and highlighted debates about cultural identity and individual freedom throughout his life, which ended in 2010. Devendra Suthar, known as the Carpenter with 28 digits, drew attention because of his rare bilateral polydactyly, which gave him unusual manual abilities and helped his work in traditional carpentry in Gujarat, India. Recorded in an old photograph, his case shows how anatomical variations can influence skill in manual labor, challenging prejudice about physical limitations. This uniqueness sparked scientific and cultural interest, highlighting human diversity and everyday adaptations in craftsmanship. Aneta Florczyk stood out in women's weightlifting by winning 4 world titles and setting records in World's Strongest Woman, a competition that goes beyond Olympic events and celebrates extreme strength. Polish by birth, Aneta became known not only for her performance on lifting platforms, but also for rolling steel frying pans with her hands in 60 seconds, showing functional strength and technical skill. This feat expanded recognition for women's strength athletics. Dennis Avner, known as Stalking Cat, dedicated much of his life to transforming his body in honor of his indigenous spiritual heritage, adopting the tiger as a totem animal. His modifications included tattoos, facial implants, changes to his lips and teeth, and special lenses, reflecting a permanent and deeply held identity. Avner died in Nevada in November 2012, with few details publicly released about the circumstances. His path marked a singular chapter in the history of body transformation and contemporary spirituality. If you enjoyed this video and want to support the channel, please use the Super Thanks tool below. Your contribution helps us keep bringing you amazing historical content. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.